house once this action gets started. You're seeing a couple of guys in the ring right now. Sean Crowdus in the black truck all the way from Louisville against Carlos Miranda from Grand Forks in the black trunks. So this should be a pretty exciting fight. We have a great card as well, Mike. We also have Corky Lone Wolf Lonecker, world rated and former champion, Fearless Freddie Moore, Quentin Osgood, Mark Bang Bang Tang, Willie Grigsby. All kinds of action is going to be here tonight.
This is going to be a great night. Well, we're getting ready for the first bout. The announcer, Scott Gear, has already introduced the combatants. We're about ready for action, Ray.
Dale Jackson, former Golden Glove great from St. Paul, will be the referee this evening. Dapper-looking gentleman. We see Miranda there looking a little eager. Crowdus talked about his ability to take a shot. Mike, his record is 10 wins and 10 losses, but 10 losses doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. Journeyman was a good way to put it, and in boxing, a credible journeyman is always very useful and can always pull an upset.
And it's a good testing board to see where we are.
Carlos Miranda, Mike, is a 12-1 record in the black trunks from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Is managed by Brad Trisky, who has helped Harold Miller come to the top 10 in the United States, and looks for the same out of this young man. So we're going to see some great action at 140-pound weight division here. Sean Crowdus again in the white trunks at a 10-10 record from Louisville, and Carlos Miranda with a 12-1 record from Grand Forks. Both men right-handed. Both men have the ability to take a good shot, and they both say that they plan on utilizing speed, Mike.
And they both look very fit.
They do. Miranda taking the dominant force by cutting off the ring, and his manager Trisky said that he's a specialist at cutting off the ring, and somewhat of a traditionalist in Hispanic heritage that's willing to throw those body shots and hooks, and he looks like he's quite strong.
He's also got very good footwork, and that's a real key to a good boxer.
There we see Crowdus with a triple jab, loosening up, good head movement. Just kind of feeling it out. I'm sure Crowdus has never fought in 10 below degree zero weather before. All the way from Louisville, took a short notice fight, which he has a tendency to do. Out of his 10 losses, he told me that 8 of the fights had come in a week notice or less.
And that's so important to stay in shape. Oh, a nice right hand. Countered back by a left.
Good hand speed by Crowdus and good power seen by Miranda. It looks like we're going to warm up to a good fight.
Sure, as soon as these people get in range, the two boxes, there's going to be some big banging. Crowdus
is a youth advocate. He also is very active in church, and he coaches basketball. So, you know, he's certainly not your stereotypical boxer, but then again, is anybody, Mike?
Not anymore. Miranda's doing a very effective job of really cutting the ring in half.
He certainly is, and later in the rounds, I think that will be to his advantage. Miranda takes a shot to the chin, but comes back. Crowdus rocks him and hurts him. Miranda's in trouble. Crowdus taking his time.
Really peppering that left jab in there nicely now.
He did have Miranda in trouble now. Mike, did he let him off the hook, or was he smart enough to know not to waste all his energy?
Well, there's always a point in a fight where you should let it go. That may have been it. His knees were really wobbly.
And you saw right there, as Crowdus landed a good right hand to Miranda, that Miranda still is a little wobbly from that shot.
You want to take your man out. You don't want to be sitting around and playing with him. You don't want him to recover at all.
No, kind of like baseball. Why use the pinch hitter in the 9th inning when you can win in the 5th?
Now, that was a little bit of a setup.
Crowdus showed that he has a good chin right there as well. Very tough round to score. Here in Minnesota, we have a 10-point must system, which we'll discuss a little bit later. Another right hand to the chin.
That was a little bit of a stumble on the way in.
By Crowdus. Mike, it appears that Miranda is a very good technical boxer, but he seems very vulnerable for the right hand.
His left hand goes down a bit.
Another jab to the chin, and it seems like Crowdus is really getting his timing well. Miranda certainly stalking and cutting off the ring, but then we see Crowdus, which is a rarity in Minnesota, backing up and yet being offensive. A very good round.
It was a very even round. Both men had their high points. I think Crowdus probably had just a little bit of an edge.
Now, folks, if you're watching at home, we'd like you to score along with us. Mike and I will be scoring here along with the referees. We're going to show a replay, and as we get on after the replay, we'll try to get into the 10-point must system.
Well, it's pretty simple, Ray. If you think the person won the bout or that round, you give them 10 points.
You include domination of the round, not only punches landed, the generalship, total overall domination. A 10-9 is a typical round, and 10-8 if there's a knockdown. You try not to do a 10-10 and
unless you legitimately thought it was an even round.
And that, yeah, the referee, before the bout, I heard Denny Nelson talking to the referees and judges, and he asked them not to do any 10-10s unless absolutely necessary. Here again, we see, we missed on that replay, but then again, we're not HBO. But I'll tell you, for the budget that we have, hey, we do a darn good job. Bruce Abramson is directing this, and by the end of the show, I think you'll be real pleased with it. You see Miranda again throwing a lot of shots, a lot of body shots. I think he had a wake-up call there in the first round against Crowdus.
You can tell in his corner he was told what he had to do.
You know, Mike, one of the people you really absolutely don't really want to fight but have to are those 10-10 record guys from Louisville.
That's right.
On any given night, they can beat even the top guy. Freddie Pendleton and Harold Brazier have proven that by winning world titles with many losses.
Well, and the thing is, that means they're in the ring a lot, and that's what you have to be careful of. Somebody that knows what they're doing when they're in the ring.
And it also means that they haven't been through a lot of setups, that the promoter hasn't done them a lot of favors, and that they've worked hard to get there. Crowdus off balance and twisted. Miranda going for the kill, but if we can get a close-up on this, guys, Miranda's eye.
Under his left eye, he's got a mouse.
His left eye is very, very puffy. And if this goes any distance at all, he may be in trouble. There you take a look at that eye, and that doesn't look good. Miranda being very aggressive. You see the the left hook. Typical Hispanic fighters throw the best left hooks in the business, and you saw Miranda throwing there. And Crowdus really is kind of suckering him in, fighting off of the ropes.
And he's going downstairs, and then working that body will really help him.
Good body shots. Crowdus, the veteran, using the advantage of all of his skills. But those body shots will wear him down.
Good combination, left, right.
Those body shots are going to get him. You know, we saw Crowdus playing around with his hands down, and there one landed.
Nice straight left hand.
Crowdus's strategy of laying on the ropes failed as Miranda aggressively.
He's taking an 8 count.
Miranda missing with that short left uppercut.
But Miranda's
stalking him right to the shoulder. He could be in trouble, but there, Crowdus wisely. You see that ring veteranship hanging on.
Knows when to hang on and when he needs to get out of there.
You can see that Crowdus has been around. He knows when to clinch. He knows he's got good head movement. Now, when Crowdus twists like that, that technically is a foul. He should not be moving his head down below his waist. And now, Miranda, I've coached many fighters. I tell him when you duck that low, Mike, bang him.
Bang him.
But the referee can punish you for doing that.
You can actually have a round or a point of a round taken away for continued use of that after the official has warned you on it. But let's go into the corners here. I'll tell you, Miranda really came on strong. He got a knockdown on that. I don't really think they call that a standing 8. I think the official called it that he would have fell had not he caught the referee.
So I think we give a 10-8 round there to Miranda, and if there was any doubt who won the first round, certainly Miranda has the edge right now.
Exactly. He's at least 1 point up.
Here we go to that replay from the first round. No, the replay from the second round, I'm sorry.
And this is a 6-round bout, so we still have 4 good rounds left.
Well, and again, both men are journeymen. Miranda, actually not a journeyman, an up-and-coming potential contender with a 12-1 record from Grand Forks. Crowdus with a 10-10 record. Crowdus is not necessarily in a must-win situation. He's a credible journeyman. If you can beat a guy like Crowdus, you're a pretty good fighter, so he'll continue to get work. But if Miranda gets beat, he may have to reassess his career. They really think Miranda could be a top 10 contender, if not a champion, and so he must win this fight tonight, Mike.
Well, and he's got to come away with a good challenge. You can't just go out there and knock over a duck. He has to really be challenged, so he knows where he can work and make improvements on.
And Crowdus is making him work. Look at the ring generalship there. Miranda using a lot of strength wrestling. Crowdus, you notice he put his hands on top of Miranda's shoulder. He's getting warned for it, but it wore Miranda out and frustrated him as well. So
now they call this a standing 8 count.
Now I don't know why. I hate to second guess any referees, but this is a professional fight, and
one good hit does not qualify for a standing 8 count.
You saw Crowdus again using those 2 hands to hold his head down. Crowdus is probably getting a little bit tired.
Now he's being warned on hitting on the break.
Now, good left hook there by Crowdus, and a combination could wake him up. Crowdus holding, but Miranda fighting out of it.
And working that body.
And a nice right hand in combination by Crowdus. Crowdus takes a flush right hand to the chin and a right body shot by Miranda. Miranda sticking to the basics and doing quite well with it. Nice good left hook and body shots. Crowdus trying to hold on. He probably would have been better off running or moving. Some more body shots there. And if he's laying on the ropes like that.
Oh, he went down. That was a body shot that caused that.
It was a body shot, Mike, but it was also a veteran's smarts there, knowing that there was no way he could get out of that mess other than to take the 8 count. Hopefully he gets up and finishes the round. Taking an 8 count is to no embarrassment. It's better than getting knocked out cold.
Oh, he comes back in. He works the body.
More body shots by Miranda.
Ooh.
And Crowdus fighting back well. Very good exchange right now by both men.
Crowdus just doesn't want to give this up. He'd like to pull it out.
Another standing 8 count by Dale Jackson. We're nearing the end of the round. Maybe he can finish this one out, Crowdus. Again, we'd like to thank Don't Wait Productions Incorporated. Oh, and Miranda rushes right on top.
This fight should be over.
Well,
that is the third knockdown. There was a standing 8 count early in the round. This fight should be over.
You're right, Mike. And very good calling by our commentator, Mike Owens. Ahead of the game, ahead of the referees and judges.
Well, it was the 3rd time that he's been, the official stops it and gives you a count. Now, whether you actually go down or not doesn't matter.
3 8 counts, it doesn't matter. In Minnesota, 3 times you're down, and that's the end of the fight. And that's a good rule. Very good rule.
Well, I think it is at this level. I think as you get advanced in it, I'm one that still thinks one of the best bouts ever held was the Tommy Hearns fight, where he went down 3 times in a round and came back to win the fight. You don't want a George Foreman Frazier fight where he was knocked down 11 times in 2 rounds.
When you're making $5 or $10 million, you hate to lose because of a referee's decision.
Yeah, or because your knee just touched down for a second or something like that. But at this level, it is definitely a great rule, Ray. It keeps somebody from being hurt. In this case, I kind of question the first 8 count.
Definitely.
But it doesn't matter. Once it was called, then it's called.
Mike, I think we like to sum it up. Miranda looked like a potential contender. He has a lot to learn. He leaves his face open. But
that left hand, it has a tendency to drop, especially when he concentrates on his body work.
But very aggressive.
And very good footwork. Well, let's go up to ring announcer Scott Gear.
1:45 of round 3 by technical knockout, Carlos Miranda.
Again, a very good win now. To beat a guy like Sean Crowdus, now that was a 3-round fight. A lot of people might say, well, a 3-round fight's no big deal. To beat a guy like Crowdus in 3 rounds, you got to be a top fighter.
Well, sure you do. And like you said, you're talking to somebody that's been in the ring for 20 bouts. That's not a rookie.
And Crowdus was 55-5 as an amateur. He knew the ring very well. Now we're going to see the replay. Good body shots, left hook to the head, another body shot. He missed on that one.
It was that first body shot that really set him down.
First body shot, and I think Crowdus went down to take a breather, try to see if the referee was going to stop it or not. It's better to kind of take a breather than to take that pounding, and Crowdus did the intelligent